Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome everyone out there. Hey sis, how's it going?
Hello, Coach Smith. All is well. Happy Tuesday to you as well, my friend.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. Well, I'm Coach Deborah D. Smith. If for some of you who may not know, of Build Your Best Life, and I believe it is better to train early rather than fix later. Our 2022 theme is it's all about actions because you see your words, your steps, your gesture, your posture, your facial expressions, your voice tone, what you write, the movement of your eyes, all of those things speak volumes and are your actions. Those are the things that other people see when they see you. So they're going to remember all of those things. So those are your actions. So be careful what you say, what you do, how you act. And our theme for November is finance with a twist. Finance with a twist. Woo. Our foundation here at Build Your Best Life, we have it's all built on basic principles, and within those basic principles, we have 5 building materials. Building material number 5 is financing, so that's why we're focused on that tonight. But again, Anita and I are here to wow you with our twist. I won't tell you what that is quite yet, but as a child, I used to always hear people say, save for a rainy day, save for a rainy day. I had no idea what that meant. If only they had given it to me straight,
That's
I would
right.
have started saving earlier. They always want to talk to you in these what do you call them? Little stories or
Yeah.
yeah, and just like, okay, I don't know what that means, but okay. I would, a lot of the mistakes that I made, I would not have made. I would have started saving at a very early age, which
Me
I
too.
didn't. So we need to have those crucial conversations relating to our sons. So we don't give them that rainy day stuff. We tell them exactly why it's important. So young man, telling you now, start saving today. If you don't have
Yeah.
a $5, save
There you go.
50, save something.
Yes.
Because our children are an asset that we are blessed to have. And, the plight of our young men is something that we see. And so we want you to join us tonight as we talk about, and you start as well, a Savehim account.
Save him account.
Savehim account.
I like that. Save him account.
All right. Well, Anita, I welcome you back, and you are here often, but I know a lot of our viewers that probably don't remember or they don't know you. So could you tell us about yourself?
Coach Smith, I absolutely just love being in your presence. I love what your show represents. I love the thought about train them early rather than fix them later. Just the whole toolbox theme of build your best life, build your best self, and all those that go into it. It's definitely becoming a part of me and a part of my life. So thank you for allowing me once again to be on your wonderful show. My name is Anita Cummings. I am a daughter, a mother. I'm a friend. I'm an auntie. I'm an educator. And this past week was Retired Educator Day in Georgia. So to all of our educators, not just in Georgia, but to all of our retired educators, if it's your education week, happy education week to you as well. But I do know November is Parent Involvement Month throughout. So happy Parent Involvement Day, and we want you to get involved in the lives of your children. So make sure that happens. Currently, I reside in Thompson, Georgia. I was born and raised in a small, beautiful town called Fountain Inn, South Carolina. I'm child number 11 of 12, born to the both late Reverend Odell and Macy Wharton. And I am just so delighted that I was raised up in a home that modeled certain things that shaped and mold me into the individual that I am today. But the main thing that I am so glad and so grateful about my childhood is that I was raised in a Christian home. And I know that when Christ is the foundation, that everything else is going to be all right. And not knowing it then, but just knowing it now, that that foundation is making me have some harmony and peace in my life now, it's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful thing. So it's not much about me. I just try to love children, live for children, let my actions speak louder than my words, and help whenever and however I can.
Wow, and she is doing a fantastic job at it. Let me tell you, over the top.
I'm enjoying life. And I think that if we have a purpose, then when we ask God to help us to live out our purpose, then we need to be willing to do just that. So I do like to think that I am a girl living on purpose for my Lord and Savior. And I'm having fun doing it right now. I really am. I'm enjoying living and doing what I feel like what he has called for me to do.
That's awesome. That is a wonderful feeling to have when you're following that purpose. You know, so many people go to the grave and they take that purpose with them.
Yes.
You know, so that is just such a blessing to be able to, live it out. That's wonderful.
I'm trying.
Yes. Thank you for that. Well, having a savings account is a necessity in today's society. A savings account may mean the difference in your survival or devastation in the event of job loss, a catastrophic illness, or some other significant unexpected expense. Special savings accounts such as vacation savings account, an emergency savings account, education savings account, etc., are also beneficial. Anita, what are your thoughts about the importance of having a savings account?
When you were doing your introduction and you said save for a rainy day, I actually thought, oh, I so remember saving for a rainy day. And you know what? I actually kept looking for the rain. I kept looking for the physical rain. And that's definitely not what my folks were talking about. And I agree with you 100% that we need to speak in a language that whoever we are communicating with, that they can understand us. Savings is so very important. And again, I think you hit it head on the nail when you said like for emergency fund, because we have some emergencies. And if we don't have funds that we have put aside for this, that's that rainy day account, then what in the world are we going to do if we don't have funds to pull from? So I think savings is very, very important, first of all, because we're going to have some emergencies.
Yes.
We will have some emergencies, and we have to have some money to pull from. I was reminded of when we're saying saving for a rainy day. I know my father used to save some money in a sock. No, he did. He would save some money in a sock. And I don't know if that was his rainy day fund. I don't even remember or know if they had a savings account, but I knew that they had money for that rainy day. As I look back on it now, bing, I get it. They were saving money for a rainy day. Now, today that looks differently. I don't think that many people in our generation save money in a sock. But the important thing is that you make sure that you save. Coach Smith mentioned different savings account. You can make sure you save those in a bank, because now a bank or online banking is extremely secure. That sock, had our house been broken into, that sock could have been taken away without any insurance. All of our rainy day funds would have been gone. So that's why a bank or a financial institute is a lot safer today. You do what works for you and for your family. Now, two other reasons that I like, or maybe three, other reasons that I really think savings is important, besides having it for an emergency fund. I think for me, for a savings account, it just reduced my temptation to spend. Most of us shop with our ATM card and we can swipe away. But when I put money in my savings account, I don't have a card I can swipe. It's such an inconvenience for me to transfer money from my savings to my checking. So I automatically think, evidently, I don't need it. I like the money that I save. I like to be able to get it, but I want to be able to, it needs to be an inconvenience for me. Because if I'm saving it, I don't need to touch it like it's regular everyday money. And I try to put back money that I don't need to touch because it's for an emergency day fund. Now, what I'm not going to do is put so much money back in my savings account that I can't live.
Right.
Okay. You do what works for you, and everybody will do what works for them. So it helps my temptation to spend. And the next thing I like, because for savings, my goal is to live a debt-free life. I believe that's what God wants me to do. I believe it's doable. And then that's what I'm going for. This is what I found out in Sunday school. This is what somebody said one day in Sunday school. And I thought, oh, I never thought about it like that. Don't think it was a teacher. I think she was receiving the word like I received the word during Sunday school. And she explained debt-free living like this. If you work and if you pay all your bills and your bills are caught up, then you don't have a debt for that frame of time. Now, it might roll back around, but if you can pay it off based on that lifestyle, based on what you owe people, then once you pay them, then you're debt free until debt comes around again. The key is to try to pay it all off. And if you have a savings account, and if you're saving, then maybe in the future, you can save and help free up some of that debt, because it's nothing like a peace of mind when you don't owe people all over the place. So savings is very important. Let's start it early.
Ooh, I love that. Debt free.
Debt free. Claim it. Speak it in the atmosphere. Debt free.
Hey, when it rolls around. All right, I got you.
Yes.
Yes. It is very important. And like you say, some people say, "Oh, I save." You do, yeah. It's in my share account. But yeah, but your share account is connected to your checking account. So if you write something or spend something out of your checking account, it's not there. They suck it at your share account.
That's
so
not saving. That. No, that's not saving.
Yes. Oh, but we live and we learn.
Yes, ma'am. And we know better, we do better.
Yes. Saving money is something that many people think about, even if they haven't started a savings. As an educator, you know that saving also refers to preservation from danger or destruction. So our finance with a twist, I think about it like that. So why not save our young men?
That's
Save
right.
him. Save him. He needs
That's
to be
right.
saved from some things. So that's the twist there, So it's good to save money. But if it's your child, your grandchild, someone close to you, that's one of your assets, maybe your closest asset. And we don't want to see them floundering.
That's right.
So we want to do some things or say some things, learn some things to help save them so that they can be better, right?
Yes. I love it. Save him account.
Save him. Yeah, I believe as a society that many people can step up to save him. The young man who has lost his way. What are your thoughts, Anita?
I go back to what you started out with and what I emphasized earlier. It's so much easier to train early than to fix later. And
Right.
that's the key. It's so much easier. And if we can just take that concept, and if we can just take that principle that we have to train early. But the key to training early is you got to have a trainer.
That's right.
So if you're going to have a trainer, you want to have an effective and efficient, a positive trainer, someone who can train you in the right way. You need that role model. Um, so when we have a role model in the lives of our young boys, because that's who we're focusing on now, our young boys who we definitely love, who we want to grow up to have the best that this world have to offer, then we must train them up, and we must train them to be great, great users, great users of their resources. It's not common sense to know how to deal with and to handle money. And I'm not for sure exactly how much they're getting in schools with the training process of how to deal with and how to handle money. So that's going to fall back on the home, the church, so that we can train our boys up to be a great steward of the money. And I'm speaking it in the atmosphere of the money that God is going to bless them with, so that
Right.
they can have enough to last them a lifetime, so they can enjoy the beauty of this earth that we're supposed to be able to enjoy.
Exactly. Yes, and that is so key. They are, having someone, because I've said oftentimes, because I have had dealings with older young men, and they don't know about paying deposits when you like get utilities. They don't know about savings. They don't know about, well, if I purchase a home, then I need utilities and blah, 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 blah. I have to get all those things. There are people that actually don't know that. They have been through college. So
Mhm.
they push them through college and they not teach them anything to do with finances. But I was so happy. I heard this summer that in our county, they are going to begin a program to help them with things like balancing an account, writing a check, even though many people don't use checks. You never know. You may be an entrepreneur and that's the way you want to do business. But, that is so helpful. But like you say, you need someone that knows what they're doing. They have the expertise, and you have to teach them. They can't just wake up one morning and say, "Oh yeah, I know how to do that."
Mm-mm.
No, they have to be taught. I had to be taught. Not to say my parents could teach me, because they didn't have education, but that was the reason why they wanted me. You go to school, you sit there, you listen, you learn, because you have to do this. You have to be good, do the best that you can. You get a job, you work at it, and you do it the best you can. If you get on that job and you don't want to do it, you're gonna have to do it, then you need to quit and let somebody else have it that wants it. Yes, ma'am. No problem.
That is so true. You mentioned going through school, going through graduating, and even going off to college. And once you graduate from college and try to start living on your own, there's still so much that you don't know. I know my parents, they took care of everything. The bills, the house note, all of anything that dealt with money and finance. I had no clue. I just knew that we had. So I wasn't involved in how all of that stuff operated. I would see them writing checks, never made the connections that you have to have money, never thought about it. You have to have money in the bank to write the checks, or a check would bounce. Unless you are actually face to face with that stuff and experience, then really and truly, how do you know? You might have some word problems in schools, but the best experience is for parents, not that children have to know all of your business, but expose them to some of those areas early. They don't have to really know how much your everything is going out, but they do need to know that what's coming in, does not need to exceed what's going out, or you will develop a whole lot of debt early. And we don't want that for our children as we're trying to deposit stuff into him as we do this save him account. There's a strong correlation, because if we're going to save him, we know that sometimes money is connected to the save him account. And I think we're going to put this twist on this thing more so that we can actually talk about the other aspects that don't so much deal with the money part on this twist thing.
Yes.
That I'm loving.
Yes. So many people would rather complain and speak negatively about the plight of young men. They see someone on the corner, they have something negative to say. They never stop and think, well, yeah, I see him on the corner all the time, but I've never seen him with an adult. He might be 12 years old. So you
That's
see him
right.
on the corner, but you just want to talk about it. You don't say, hey, young man, hi, which home do you live in? About, just get on a conversation. But you rather say he's a statistic. Oh, he's just a thug. He just on the corner.
That's
you don't
right.
know that, and he might be on the corner because he's trying to get away from abuse in the house. So these same people may have the ability or the attributes that this young man needs to assist him in overcoming and becoming better. You have attributes. You're the expert. You're educated. You've raised boys. But you just want to point the finger. So why don't you think that more people want to invest in saving our young men?
I really believe that we have to do things to help ourselves first. And everything that we're talking about, I think it ties in together. I think we have to change our mindset. The example that you just gave, if we see a young boy on the corner, we're going to probably automatically think, well, I know his mama, she's not doing anything. His daddy's not doing anything. And we don't know all the situations. We just know what we see, but we don't really know what's going on in that home. And we're thinking, if they're not going to help him, then I'm not going to help him either. I have my own to take care of. We don't have that village mentality. We don't see our boys as our boys. We see them as he belongs to you, he belongs to you. We don't see them as they belong to us. And they belong to us. So until we can get everyone to see that if it hurts you, it hurts me. If it affects you, it affects me. If your son is not successful, then I'm not successful. I have Ty and I have Marcus, but it really doesn't take that much more to bring in Jay, to bring in Chris, to bring in Robert, to bring in Jermaine. It doesn't take much more if you have one or two to bring in 4 or 5 more so you can save them too. And once you save them or save him, it's going to roll off. And then they can spread it out, and then they can spread the love and spread the wisdom and the knowledge, and they can go out and save some more him. Until we as a people, until we as individuals see everybody that's on that corner that needs some guidance as a part of my business, and sometimes I know and I get it, and we're not telling you to put yourself in harm's way. But until we can come up with a way to address and to meet the needs of everybody, I think we're going to always have that problem. And I hate to say that. The comeback to that is, can we just try to save him at one, just save one him, and then we can save another him. Let's start saving a him at a time. And that way we can see some progress. Just save who you can. Save every him that you can. Be an influence to every him that you can. impact, make a difference, step up, be
Step up.
brave, be bold, be that role model. And let's go after them and save him. We can't expect them, whoever your them are, wherever part of the world you're in, we can't continue to expect them to help save our boys when we're not out there saving them ourselves. Let's step up. Let's step up.
Let's step up.
Yes, let's step up.
That's some good stuff right there. We need to step up. You just can't be afraid that well, if I say something, something might happen. You can just be passing by and something may happen to you. But if this is somebody you seeing day in and day out, come on now.
Yes.
Yes, you can do it. We have to work together. If you're older than, I'll say 30, if you remember when people didn't think it was robbery to call if they saw their neighbor's child doing something wrong, come here.
That's right.
They didn't wait till the mom got off work or the dad got off work. Come here now. They
That's
took
right.
care of it and then told the parents when they got home, and then the parents took care of it again.
That's it. That's the village I'm talking about. That's the village I'm talking about. And that's what, we need to go back to some of those ways. And as parents, as responsible adults, and as caregiver of children, we need to learn how to appreciate. If I come to you and tell you that I saw Chris misbehaving, if I saw Chris doing something, you need to receive it.
That's
And I don't
right.
care what you do with it, but don't get mad at me because I'm helping you look out for your child. I would want to know. So the reason I'm telling you, because if you see my boy, my boys, my nephews, anybody in my little village or my circle getting off track, please tell me. Please share with me. I want to know. And I'm not going to attack or be mad or be angry with you for you bringing some stuff back to me that might help my child, protect my child from harm, hurt, or danger.
All right. And that's another biggie as well. Now it's the parents allow the children to make their own decisions
Oh,
regardless of what
yes.
age they are.
Yes.
So, you bring your son to children's church, he's 8 or 9, he's sitting there like this. What's wrong? I don't want to be in no children's church. And he's talking to the mom. You don't want to be back here today? No, I told you I didn't want to come back here. Well, come on. Yeah, Chris would have came on, but we would have came on around to the bathroom. And when Chris came back, he would have been sitting up there, y'all got a pen. I'm ready to learn, But you let your child decide, and then fast forward 5 years, and it's like, oh, what Deacon Dan? I need some help.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So
exactly.
You do your part. You can't worry about what they don't do, but like you say, I'm gonna do my part, and I hope you receive it the right way. If you don't, at least I tried.
I did my part.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do, my part.
That's
and
right.
I'm going to do my part. But in doing my part, I think that this is what we also have to look at as parents, as caring adults, and as educators. I need to make sure that I have a healthy relationship with my hymns, with my boys, with my godsons and my nephews. I need to make sure that the relationship that I have with them is healthy, is appropriate. And then I think other people will be more receptive. But if I can't control what God has entrusted me to and entrusted me with, these hymns, it's hard. It will be hard for you to receive what I have to say when my child is the one that you just described.
Right.
So we have to watch that thing. We have to make sure that we are setting the example so that when we go to someone else, they'll be willing to hear what we are saying. But always remember, your actions, they really do speak louder than your words. People are watching and they can see what you're doing. And if you're doing the right thing that they are looking at, they don't mind listening to you and hearing what you have to say.
That's all right. Girl, you hit it on the nail on the head. Everyone, if you tune in late, this is a great conversation. We are talking about finance with a twist, the Save Him account. Yes, you had to be here from the beginning. So please, please, please go back after we finish and look at this video in its entirety. If you don't pick up a nugget, I don't know why. But you need to share it, share it, share it. Call up somebody, let them know, this is what I'm talking about. You need to go and do it because it's some great information. And, my purpose and my passion is to assist young men.
Yes.
And getting people on here that are expertise, that have raised sons, that are mothers with sons, that are leaders, educators. I don't just come up here talking off the cuff. All this is good stuff and it's based on facts and raising children and having experience, teaching, whatever. So again, we thank you for tuning in. And like I said, if you missed some of it, you need to go back. Thank you for coming in now. So, Anita, how can people step up more to help to save our young men, you think?
All of us are given the same amount of time. We all have 24 hours in a day. And I think we have to be intentional with how we use our time. So we have to have a desire, step out and make that commitment that we want to be part of the solution. Mm-hmm. If we see this as a problem, then we need to just step up and say that we're going to be a part of the solution. That might sound really simple, and I know it's not that simple, but we really and truly need to be intentional. We need to do something on purpose. We need to have a plan. And I go back to what was said earlier. If you can't help 50, then shoot for 20. If you can't help the 20, then shoot for the 10. If you can't help the 10, you shoot for the 5. And if you have to just get one at a time, then you make sure you get one at a time. And after you get one at a time, it will keep growing and growing and growing. And I can tell you this, it is such a great feeling. It's such a great feeling in the inside when that one comes back and just says, thank you. Because when you help and when you save that one, you're really saving more than that one. Because if they come from a home, if they have additional siblings, they're going to take it back into that home. And I know this for a fact. Older siblings, they love, protect, and guard their younger siblings. They're going to let that spill over into their lives. So yeah, you help that one, but you really help that entire household. Mm-hmm. And that household is in a community. So that house now can help that entire community. And I'm sure that community is like in a town. And who knows, so it will keep growing and growing and growing. It will have that snowball effect. When we play with snowballs, we start out small and you roll that thing and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. And after a while, it's extremely huge. So try not to look at such a big picture if you can't do that at first. Just look at one. Be patient, watch it grow. At least be intentional, get moving. Do it on purpose. Do it on purpose.
Do it on purpose. Yes. Thank you so much. I like that. Ooh, I like it when you talk about when you help that one, and you're helping the household, then the town and the community. Hey, it just keep on rolling.
It truly does. I love talking about first generational college students. And when you talk, and I've seen so many so many examples of that in our town. When you talk about that first generational, and it become contagious. All it takes is somebody to break the cycle, for somebody to believe that they can, for somebody to restore that hope. Mm-hmm. So get in there, do it. I always say this. God created this world, and he created us for a purpose. I want to live out my purpose. I'm going to live out my purpose. And what he has for me, I want it to be for me, but I can't be lazy. I have to go get it.
That's right.
So you go get what belongs to you. Get what belongs to you. And let's start saving some hymns.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's get out there and do the work.
Have to
You
do the work.
know, yes, and we want to help young men. And sometimes it may seem that, oh, I don't think they want to be helped.
Yeah,
Well, they may be reluctant because, again, you don't know what they encounter behind closed doors.
that's right.
Are they in a household where someone is telling them, you're no good? You never amount to anything. Your daddy wasn't nothing. You won't be nothing. You won't even finish high school. Just beat and beat and beat until it absorbs into them and they think, oh, I'm not going to ever be anybody. And they finally give up, So you have to, as you engage these people, you have to speak into them. And first and foremost, let them understand, or help them to understand how important they are.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
how important.
Yes.
So, Carol, she must be talking about us. Anita, what are some areas young men desperately need assistance to start believing in themselves?
You hit on something that's very, very powerful and very, very true. My background is education, and my heart goes out so desperately to all children, but of course to our young Black boys. I think that society just beat them up so much. So if they're going to get it outside of the home, we cannot afford to give it to them inside the home. We cannot afford to feed them with all this negative talk. We have to speak life and health and wealth and prosperity and some hope into their beings.
That's right.
So to say, and I've seen it and I witnessed it, to beat down our voice verbally inside our own homes is a disgrace. And it has to stop, and it needs to stop. I don't think it's any excuse for it, because see, when we do it inside our home, we think it's okay. It's not okay for me to be tied down verbally, because if he goes outside of the home, and if someone else at a school, at a job would speak to him, and I would never speak to him that way, but would speak to him in a negative tone and beat him down, oh, I'll put my mama hat on and I'll be ready to attack. So they can do it and I can do it. I don't think so. I'm not going to let it be done in my home, and I'm going to try to do all I can to protect him, that it can't be done out there.
That's right.
So we most certainly have to do that. Now, ask me your question again, because I was going somewhere else with that.
Oh, sorry. What areas do young men need to start that will give them assistance and start believing in themselves?
You said something earlier, and that's where I was going with that. But they have, so when I say they, I'm talking about our young boys, and of course not all of them. But when you listen to research, when you hear radio shows, hear talk, there's so much literature research out there about our Black boys. It talks about the pain they go through, the abuse they go through, the abandonment that they go through, how that scars them and how that can scar them for life. And it becomes a cycle. And they don't know how to break that cycle. So what it does is that when they become fathers, the cycle continues. And just like that snowball I talked about, that can be a positive snowball. Well, it's going to be a snowball too, but it's the negative snowballs. So if you're going to have a snowball, why not do a positive snowball over a negative snowball? They're hurting. They're having to deal with so much. So again, if the outside world, if society is going to put that on our boys. Let's make sure that our homes are not a place that we put them that cause them pain, that cause them abuse, that they feel like they are abandoned. Wherever you live in your community, make sure you promote love, make sure you promote help in your home. Let your home be the one, let your home be the example. And I don't know how we do with neighbors everywhere for everyone who's listening, but we can bring that feel of a village and a community and a neighborhood back with our boys. So cause more help than harm and hurt. Let's be helpful in raising him and in saving him.
Yes, let's please do that. We want to save him, and we want him to want to be saved. So
Yes, ma'am.
that means that we got to step it up. We have to be positive and treat them with positive attributes, you know.
Yes.
And it even comes down to, you drop your child off at school and you
Yes.
say, you look back, don't forget your lunchbox, and you drive off. That's not the way you do that. You turn around and make sure they get out safely. Have a great day. You make something happen. I love you. Make sure you tell them you love them and you believe in them, and they can make something happen.
And they will have a great day.
Chest out. Hey, I can make something happen. My mama love me. My daddy love me.
Enough for them to have a great day, or enough for them to have a bad day based on what you say and how they get out the vehicle.
Yes.
And what did that take? That just took 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And that's a great point. For those parents who drop your children off at school, make sure when they get out that vehicle, that the last thing you tell them is how proud you are of them, how much you love them, and to have a great day. And I don't even need to go. That's another talk on another talk show occasion, because when we drop them off, there's absolutely no guarantee, and I don't want to go there, but it's no guarantee that you will make it to the end of that day or that they will make it to the end of that day. And I know you want your memory to be something positive, healthy, and strong. So let's love them when they get out that vehicle. Easy and simple. That's a deposit. That's a great investment. That's saving them. That's saving him. I mean, we got to deposit something into our children. And let's deposit some love. Let's invest some love. Let's invest some time. Let's invest some encouragement.
That's good, girl. That'll preach.
Yes, you know, and yes. I usually mention time, but all we can talk about is our experiences. And I know, like with him, I hope that I took the time to deposit, to invest, because it takes time, and sometimes it does take money. And we're talking about saving hymns and savings accounts. And earlier you mentioned that we have to save some time for their education. Well, to our young parents who are listening, when your child is born, there is so many different accounts that you can start, because in your mind, you should think that they're going to graduate from high school. And after high school, I'm not pushing college, but you want them to further their education, or you want them to go in the military. If you start saving when they're born, and I don't care what amount, think about the nice gift that you can give to them when they graduate to start their life after high school. What a blessing that will be. What a great head start that would be. So I deposited into Ty's creativity, because he was extremely creative. So anything that I could deposit into him, anything that I could invest in him, because he was so creative, I made sure that we did that along the way. So if we're going to save him, let's just make sure that along the way, we start early and we start making that deposit into their lives. Everything doesn't cost money. Look out there for some free workshops. Look out there for some free camps. Look out there for some free scholarships, some free opportunities, and go for it. Go for it. And if it does cost some money, it's worth it.
Yes.
Remember, it's so much easier to train up than to fix later. So deposit early so you can get your return later, and you can see your deposit and how that deposit and that interest will pay off.
Yes. And and when the kids begin to get I'll say into their teenage years, some parents will, I'm going to teach them how to be responsible, and well, you need to go out and figure everything out. Well, they need to get more maturity. We need to teach them things, but also you need to realize they are immature. They
Yes,
are
yes,
teenagers. They're not adults.
that's
And
right.
so God loaned them to us. So we need to invest in what programs are out there for them. What can I do to help them if they're not doing well in a particular area?
That's right.
Talking about the finance, the school didn't offer that when Christopher was in school, but it was a junior college that had a program. But if I hadn't researched, we wouldn't have found that.
That's right.
It was free.
Free.
So we have to get out there and do things. Don't make them grow up before it's time. Yes, teach them. I believe in teaching. They need to learn things, but don't put everything on their shoulders and you just sit back and wait for them to make it or break it.
Yeah.
Don't do
Can't
that.
do it. Can't do it. We shouldn't do it.
Shouldn't.
Not good to do it.
Mm-mm. Nope. Yep. And this is, like you say, it's another show for this, but I'm going to say this before we move on. But when I'm thinking about now, as you get older, you learn more and more, and about all these different savings accounts. And I'm just excited. A young lady just walked up to me. I think Christopher was 3, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna start the savings program for my grandchild. I thought maybe you would like to start one for Christopher." And so I looked at it. And it was what is it? It's not the 401. What is it? It's educational.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So I did that. And then, I saved, and I made sure after I got the routine of how this was working with the books and the classes and semesters, and he was at University of Florida, so that wasn't cheap, to make sure that when he finished, they did owe some money, but it wasn't much. And
There
we
you
made
go.
sure we paid that quick, fast, in a hurry.
That's
So
right.
we didn't have to worry about that.
That's right.
Because that's you hear people talking about student loans. You have some people that have been out of school 40 years and they still have student loans. And that doesn't mean they haven't been paying something on them either.
That's right. That's so true. So true.
So we gotta invest in them. We gotta save him. And that's a part of saving him.
That's a big part of saving him. And again, it's a big part that we need to start early.
Yes.
We need to make sure that we educate ourselves, and we need to make sure that we take opportunities of what's out there. Whatever high school, for our listening audience, whatever high school that your child will be going to, and it may change by the time they get to the high school, but this would be my advice. And I'm an educator, and I was in the educator. I mean, I was in the school system. But what I failed to do was I did not look into all of the scholarships that were going to be available that my son could receive, so that I could prepare him along the way to be able to apply for certain scholarships, because they're out there. They are definitely out there, and we have to start early. Start early. You cannot start making these deposits. You can't start showing your interest when they get to be a sophomore or a junior. Right. You can, but if you start earlier, by the time they become seniors, they can be set. Right. They can be set. Yep. Make those deposits early.
Early. And if you know of something, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Telling someone else about it does not take anything away from your child. Don't do that.
That's right.
But that's another story. We're gonna move on. Oh. before we end our broadcast, please give our viewers some tips on how they can invest in helping save our young men from societal mayhem, abuse, bullies, disabilities, risky behaviors. It's just so much out there for them. Any tips you can give them?
It is so much out there, so much out there. And I do want to share a few closing thoughts. And the first one is especially for our boys, but it's for us too. I used to apologize and say, I hate that I feel this way, but I don't hate that I feel this way. It's how I feel. I honestly believe that sometimes we have to work twice as hard, at least twice as hard, to even get a chance. So even when you have to work twice as hard, do the work twice as hard, do whatever you need to do, because always remember that it's preparation for what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
So do it. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're letting people walk all over you. Look at it as your preparation for what's next. It's preparation for what you're going to be elevated to. You don't always get the benefit of the doubt. You don't always get the benefit of a doubt, but you need to pursue your dreams anyway. Pursue your dreams and make sure you just work twice as hard as you need to. I didn't write the author of this book, but there's a book called Saving Our Sons, Raising Black Children in a Turbulent World. Not for sure exactly who the author is, but these are some words from his book that I thought was extremely powerful. To save our Black boys, they may need pity, but they also need deliverance. They also need salvation. They need healing. They need mercy. They need grace. They need direction. They need hope. They need self-esteem. They need internal fortitude. And then this is the only part I would change, but this was in the book. It says Black men need to show them the way to Jesus. They need to see Black men praying for them. And my thing is, I don't care what color the man is as long as he's a Christian. Okay. So I know we want to emphasize the Black, and true enough, I want my Black boy to see Black people in every position. But when it comes to leading him to Jesus, I don't care what color you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you know him, you know him. And I don't mind my boy being in your presence. We must make sure that whatever we do, whatever we say, however we live, however we give, that we let our boys envision a future filled with promise, a future filled with promise, positive change. And they have to believe that the future belongs to them too, that there will be a future. We don't need for our boys to think that they're not going to live past 25, or they're not going to live to see 35, or that they can't have. Yes, they can have. But we have to make those deposits right now into saving him. This would be what I would tell my sons and my nephews and my godsons. So, and this is what I want to share with all of you as we reach out to try to save him, as parents and as adults and as caregivers. Whatever role you are to that child, you be it. If you're the parent, be the parent. If you're the caring adult, be that caring adult. Be that role model. You need to teach and model respect. And I'll go a step further. You need to make sure you teach etiquette. Teach them how to be a young man. Don't take it for granted that they're going to learn and that they're going to know. Teach it. We must teach. Set high standards. Don't let them just fall for anything. We need to make sure that we set high standards as we start this mission of saving him. It's going to be a journey, and we make sure that we set high standards. We need to teach decision-making skills. I don't think we teach that enough. They're going to have some tough decisions that they have to make as they go through this life. And we need to give them the opportunity to make some decisions along the way while we can still guide them. Along with teaching decision-making skills, we need to teach them some life skills. Now, we're talking about saving him. We need to teach them some life skills. We need to teach them. I know when they go off to college, they need to learn how. They already need to know how to wash their clothes. They need to learn how to cook some basic meals. They need to learn how to manage money. Those are basic skills that we need to make sure that we teach. If you give your child a debit card the month before he goes off to school, you're in trouble. There's nothing wrong with giving them that card, giving them a budget, making sure they stick with that budget, train them. So when they go off to school, that's something that they don't have to worry about. I have to learn how to do. They will already know how to do it. And let's keep them engaged in the community, in the school, and in the church with productive activities, with productive stuff. I think right now we fill our time with so much stuff that's unproductive, stuff that cannot help us grow mentally, spiritually, physically, just stuff. So if we're going to help save him, let's make sure that what we invest in, what we put into them, it's some good stuff, some productive stuff that will help them in their journey. One of my favorite things to share and to tell is that we have to be intentional. We have to be present. We have to show up. We have to show in action more than we speak. So be present, be there. I think that the next one I want to share is a little tough for us sometimes, but we have to be realistic about their strengths and their weaknesses or their areas of growth. I know for most boys, they will tell you that they're going to grow up and they want to be a professional athlete. I don't know the statistics right off hands, but I've seen some great athletes in middle school and in high school, and most do not make it to the pros. So we have to be realistic about their strength and their weaknesses or their opportunities for growth. I'm a witness that if you have some weaknesses with hard work, you can overcome some of those weaknesses, but it takes hard work. So make sure that you are realistic about their strength and their weaknesses. Let's not lead them on. We started earlier talking about saving for a rainy day, and we didn't understand that language or understand that jargon back then. Speak plain to your children. Let them know, yes, that's a possibility. No, it's not a possibility. If a little girl is saying that she wants to be a teacher but hates school now and it's not making good grades, sugar, you're not going to be a good teacher. Okay. If you don't like school right now, it's no way you can make anybody else fall in love with school. And the final thing that I want to say that we need to do as we go out and try to save him, they're going to make mistakes. Our boys are going to make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, let's not beat them down. Let's pull them back up. Let's put them back on the right track. Let's let them know it's okay to make mistakes because we're not perfect either. And let's give them the support that they need to make sure that they can be the very, very best him that this world has to offer. I hope something I said or something has encouraged somebody to want to be a mentor. I hope that you can go out there and be intentional and make sure that you become a mentor and join us on this journey of saving him. That's what I have, Coach Smith.
Girl, I hope it has too or not. If it has not touched one person, something wrong. They need to turn up their volume. If they hadn't touched 5, I guess they didn't have a good connection.
All right.
Because this has been awesome. Sometimes I come up with these topics and these things, and it's like, this is my purpose. This is what God gives me. And I'm like, they're going to say, what is she talking about? But hey, we need to save him.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Time is out for playing. So I know that the nuggets and information that was provided here tonight is helpful for our young men, our mothers with sons, our educators, leaders, mentors, coaches. But we need you to step up and help us to save him.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-mm-mm. It'll make you feel so good.
Yes.
I mean, you do things not for yourself, you do them for others. But when you do things and you do them genuinely for others, it makes you feel so good.
Yes, it does.
It does. So I can just go on and on all night because this has been just so awesome. So I won't do that. Before we close, is there anything else you want to add, Anita?
No, I think you said something else that's very important. I think that we are here for a purpose, and it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us. And just remember, we can't expect somebody to do for us what we need to be and should be doing for ourselves. So let's step up. That's a challenge. Step up. Start saving one at a time and get on this bandwagon, get on this journey. And I believe with all my heart in our boys. I believe in them, and I know that we need them, and that we can save them. We can help in that journey to saving him.
Yes, we can. And we are here at Build Your Best Life Incorporated. We are trying very, very hard. We have broadcast each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. This coming Thursday, November 10th, we're going to have coffee chat with Deborah and Carol. And that's going to be really interesting. We're going to be talking about the personal planning program.
Okay.
That's a part of my book. And then on Saturday, you definitely don't want to miss that either. Especially if you have not witnessed our conversation with the guys. Every second Saturday, we have 4 guys that come out, and they are the heartbeat of chats, because these men, they talk about topics that only men can talk about. So you need to get on the phone, text, DM, whatever you need to do to get your young men, your sons, the fathers, everybody on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you forget, you can go on my website, which is www.buildyourbestlife.org. And you can look at my calendar of events, or you can go to my Facebook page and you will see the post. It will be out there on Friday evening for the conversation with the guys, and for coffee chat, you'll see information on that on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. But we love to have you. We are on a mission. We are here. We're not going anywhere. We love saving him.
We love saving him.
We really do. So yeah, please visit my website. But you can see I do release a blog every Monday. Young man, if you don't want to listen to the little lady, or you don't want to listen to the men, you don't have time, go out there and read the blogs. You might find something catchy and you're like, hey, maybe I need to check out that Build Your Best Life. I think that the blogs are interesting. You can look at my services that I offer, which is speaking, consultations, coaching, webinar speaking, and you can get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And it has wonderful basic principles. We're talking about life skills, basic principle, etiquette, respect, how to treat young ladies, how to live, how to have that impossible dream and get by. You need to get your copy. If you prefer Kindle version, Amazon.com. But again, thank you so much, Anita, for coming on tonight. I appreciate you. I love you. Oh, and in December, Chucks for Pearls and Earls will be back on the 3rd Saturday. And that is Miss Anita Carol, Anastasia, and myself. So we will be back in December as well. So we have something for everybody. So thank you so much, Anita. I really appreciate it. And as you go about on your busy journey, you will run into distractions, rough terrain, obstacles, detours. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. See you soon, Anita.
All right. See you soon too.